Holy shit, what an insane piece of footage. So we were talking about, just a little bit of background, we were talking about some of the earliest major news events that you can remember based on your age, right? And I'm Gen X. I was born in 72. So some of the earliest things I remember are the John Wayne Gacy murders, especially because I was in the Chicagoland area. So that was a big talking point among the older people. John Wayne Gacy, the Tylenol cyanide outbreak, where they changed the way it's not an outbreak, but they changed the way they do packaging, the Challenger explosion, Reagan, the assassination attempt of Ronald Reagan, but boom, 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 so forth and so on. And this person here says, I watched Bud Dwyer, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, do himself live on TV. We were off school for a snow day. And if you guys don't know the story behind Bud Dwyer, holy shit. I think he was a member of the House of Representatives, perhaps, a congressman. I don't think he was a senator. And he had been convicted of something. It was the day before his sentencing, and it was expected that he was going to be going to prison once he got sentenced for a number of years. And he held a press conference, and everybody thought that the press conference was going to be him resigning the day before he gets sentenced to multiple years in prison. I can't even remember what the crimes were for. I want to say corruption, but I can't remember. Regardless, it doesn't matter. Bud Dwyer, this member of Congress, holds this press conference. The whole world believes he's gonna announce his retirement. All the media gathers and whatnot, and he stands up there and he reads this statement, and he apologizes to anybody that he has embarrassed or hurt, and he says this and he says that. And then he has this giant manila envelope folder, the kind that you put all legal docs in and you fold it over, and he's got this manila folder, and he kind of steps back from the microphone and he reaches in and he pulls out a gun, and he warns everybody in the audience or in the crowd, if they're squeamish, they might want to leave because he's going to take his own life. And initially the people in the room didn't believe it, and then he went boom, and he took his own life in front of the media, and everybody was like, holy fucking shit, he did it. And it was live on TV. It was being broadcast live because it was a press conference of a member of Congress who was, facing multiple years in prison. It would be no different than, any member of Congress today being convicted of a crime and being on the verge on the eve of being sentenced to multiple years in prison and holding a press conference to discuss it. The difference is he took his own life live on TV. And that is some of the most insane footage I've ever seen this side of, was his name Gary Plauché? If you guys don't know that name, that's another hell of a story. Gary, I think his name was Gary Plauché. I might be mispronouncing the last name slightly. His son was kidnapped by his judo instructor or his karate instructor and taken to California and was sexually abused. And they found him and they got him back, and they extradited the guy who kidnapped him and did this to him, and they were bringing him back to face charges in his state. And that he was walking through the airport, and the dad of this kid that was abducted and assaulted was waiting, a pair of sunglasses and a baseball cap at a bank of phone book payphones. He was waiting, and he had a gun in his hip. And as they walked the guy past, the footage is insane. He just turns around and steps up and puts the gun right to the side of the guy's head and takes his life, and then sets the gun down and puts his arms up, like basically hands up. Basically, he said, "I did what I came here to do. I enacted revenge on behalf of my son. I now know I'm going to prison." And you know what? I'm gonna have to go back and look up that story because I don't remember what happened to Gary Plauché afterwards. But those are two insane pieces of footage of somebody being unalived on camera. Bud Dwyer and Gary Plauché, I think, assassinating or taking revenge on the man who assaulted his kid. That, if you guys haven't seen any of this footage, you should go look it up. It's crazy.